You think you can just waltz in here and accuse me of neglecting my own child? Victoria Thompson snarled, her manicured nails digging into the marble countertop of the Manhattan penthouse kitchen. Her voice sliced through the air like a whip, eyes narrowing at Grace Johnson, the black nanny who'd been with the family for 9 years. Grace stood firm, her jaw clenched tight, the faint scent of laundry detergent still clinging to her hands from folding Lily's clothes moments ago. She'd spotted it then, the red stain, bold and fresh on the girl's pale pink pajamas. Not paint, not juice, but something raw and personal that screamed neglect. Victoria leaned in closer, her designer suit rustling with the motion. What gives you the right? You're the help, Grace. Stick to your duties. Grace's fists balled at her sides, her dark skin flushing with restrained fury. She'd raised 4 kids of her own in Atlanta before coming north, pouring love into them like water on parched soil. Now here she was, facing this white millionaire lawyer who jetted off to San Francisco boardrooms while her 12-year-old daughter bled alone in silence. The stain had caught Grace's eye mid-fold, a crimson smear near the hem that made her heart pound. She paused, breath catching, as memories flooded back. Her own first time, confused and scared in a cramped Georgia bathroom, no one to guide her. Lily's pajamas felt soft under her fingers, but the mark was harsh, a silent accusation against the empty home. James Thompson, the tech CEO husband, was off in Silicon Valley sealing deals, leaving the penthouse echoing with his absence. Grace had hummed a gospel tune to steady herself, but the anomaly gnawed. Why hadn't Lily said anything? Why did this child, surrounded by wealth, crystal chandeliers overhead, skyline views through floor-to-ceiling windows, hide such a basic human change? Victoria's phone buzzed on the counter, but she ignored it, her glare intensifying. If there's a problem with Lily, I'll handle it, not you. Grace opened her mouth, words forming about the stain, about the girl's distant eyes at breakfast. But Victoria cut her off. Don't. Just don't. The interruption stung like a slap, Grace's chest tightening. She'd seen Lily drag her backpack home from school, shoulders slumped, nibbling biscuits without appetite. You all right, baby? Grace had asked softly, but Lily shrugged it away, her small face pale. Now this confrontation boiled it all up. The stain wasn't just blood. It was proof of cracks in this gilded life. Grace swallowed hard, her voice steady despite the tremor. Mrs. Thompson, it's not an accusation. It's a concern. But Victoria waved her off, turning away, heels clicking sharply on the tile. The red mark lingered in Grace's mind, a beacon of something broken, pulling her deeper into the family's hidden fractures. Why this secrecy? Why the fear in Lily's eyes when Grace had glimpsed the stains spreading on the white cotton earlier? The question hung heavy, unanswered, as Victoria stormed toward the elevator, leaving Grace alone with the folded laundry and a resolve hardening like steel. The penthouse fell silent, but Grace's pulse raced. She glanced at Lily's door down the hall, the girl's room a fortress of designer toys and untouched books. That stain demanded action, a mystery that wouldn't fade with washing. Grace's hands trembled as she set the pajamas aside, her mind racing to the child's confusion, the isolation in this tower of luxury. What horrors did Lily face alone while her parents chased empires? The anomaly burned, a red flag waving in the opulent void, forcing Grace to wonder if she was the only one who saw the blood for what it was, a cry for help. Victoria's parting shot echoed, "Stay in your lane, Grace." But Grace couldn't, not now. The stain had changed everything. A stark anomaly in the perfect facade, beckoning her toward truths no one wanted exposed. "How dare you imply I'm a bad mother?" Victoria's voice cracked like thunder, her finger jabbing toward Grace's chest in the dim hallway outside Lily's room. Grace stepped back, her spine rigid, heart slamming against her ribs as the accusation hung between them. She'd followed Lily upstairs after spotting the stain, carrying the folded clothes like a shield. But now Victoria blocked the door, eyes blazing with defensiveness, born from guilt she wouldn't admit. Grace's grip tightened on the laundry basket, knuckles whitening. "I'm not implying anything, Mrs. Thompson, but Lily needs—" Victoria slashed the air with her hand, cutting her off mid-sentence. "Needs what? Your interference?" We've given her everything. Private school, vacations, this life. The words flew fast, each one a barrier. But Grace pushed through, her voice low and unyielding. Everything except you. The catalyst ignited then, flashing back to earlier that evening. Grace had watched Lily slip into her pajamas, the girl's small frame trembling slightly as she pulled the soft fabric over her head. The red stain bloomed brighter now, stark against the white cotton, seeping through like a wound. Lily hadn't noticed at first, but when she did, her eyes widened, hands flying to cover it. Grace closed the door with a click, sitting on the bed's edge, her presence a quiet anchor. Baby, let's talk. Lily froze, twisting her sleeve, lips quivering. It's nothing. But Grace reached out, her calloused hand gentle on the girl's arm. I see the stains, red ones, on your skirt too. Has this happened before? The question pierced the air, and Lily's shoulders slumped, tears spilling hot and fast. Last week, I didn't know. Thought I was dying or something. Grace's chest constricted, a vice of empathy and rage. This child, heir to millions, left to navigate womanhood's dawn in terror, her parents orbiting distant worlds of boardrooms and mergers. Grace pulled her close, arms wrapping firm, the scent of Lily's shampoo, lavender and innocence, filling her nostrils. You're not dying, sweetheart. It's your period. Your body's changing, becoming strong. Lily sobbed into her shoulder, body shaking. I was scared at school. Blood everywhere, hid in the bathroom. Grace stroked her hair, steady as a heartbeat. Every woman goes through it. I did. My daughters did. You're normal? Perfect. She fetched pads from her bag, demonstrating with calm precision, unwrapping one, showing how it stuck, explaining the flow. Lily's breathing slowed, eyes lifting with fragile trust. Mom doesn't know? Grace hesitated, then nodded. Not yet, but she should. The promise sparked in Lily's gaze, a flicker of hope amid the fear. Back in the hallway now, with Victoria's fury still echoing, Grace recalled that moment, the catalyst that shoved her from observer to protector. Her own life flashed, raising kids in Atlanta's heat, working 2 jobs after her husband left, vowing no child would suffer alone under her watch. Victoria's phone rang again, shrill and insistent, but she silenced it, face twisting. You think you know better? Because you're, what, more maternal? The jab landed, laced with unspoken bias, but Grace met her eyes unflinching. I know Lily's hurting. That's enough. Victoria turned away, but the seed was planted. Grace's goal crystallized. Guide Lily through this. Force the Thompsons to see their absences cost, no matter the risk to her job. As Victoria retreated to her study, door slamming shut, Grace lingered by Lily's room, ear pressed to the wood, hearing soft sniffles inside. The catalyst burned brighter, propelling her forward, toward revelations that would shatter the family's fragile peace, but perhaps rebuild it stronger. You're nothing but a meddler in my house, Victoria spat, her voice a venomous hiss as she cornered Grace in the kitchen the next morning, coffee mug slamming down like a gavel. Grace's shoulders tensed, her fingers curling into fists behind her back, the sting of the word meddler hitting like a racial slur veiled in politeness. She'd risen early, determined to start guiding Lily, but Victoria blocked her path to the girl's room, eyes flashing with territorial rage. Grace drew a sharp breath, chin lifting. I'm helping your daughter. That's my job. Victoria lunged forward, finger pointing accusingly. Your job? Cleaning, cooking, not playing mommy. The interruption fueled Grace's resolve, her jaw locking as she sidestepped, heading upstairs anyway. Victoria grabbed her arm, nails digging in. Don't you dare! Grace yanked free, pulse thundering, and burst into Lily's room where the girl sat on the bed, knees hugged to chest, eyes red from crying. Lily looked up, startled, as Grace knelt before her, voice dropping to a soothing whisper. Morning, baby. Let's get you sorted. Victoria stormed in behind, but Grace ignored her, pulling out a fresh pad from her pocket, unwrapping it with deliberate calm. See? Peel here. Stick like this. Change every few hours. Lily's hands shook as she mimicked, her small fingers fumbling, tears streaking her cheeks. What if it leaks again? Grace cupped her face, thumbs wiping the wetness. We'll handle it. You're learning. Victoria crossed her arms, scoffing. This is ridiculous. She's fine. Grace shot her a glare, fire igniting in her chest. She's scared. Alone. The words escaped before she could stop, and Victoria's face twisted, stepping closer. Alone? With you hovering? Lily whimpered, pulling back, and Grace's heart cracked. She'd pushed too hard. She softened, turning fully to the girl. Breathe, sweetheart. In through your nose, out slow. Lily obeyed, her breathing steadying, but Victoria interrupted again. Enough. Get out, Grace. Grace stood, defiance surging, but she complied halfway, lingering in the doorway. Downstairs later, alone in the laundry room, she paced, mind racing over obstacles. Lily's shyness clamping her mouth shut around her parents. The fear of bothering them etched deep from years of absence. Grace's own past clawed at her. Abandoned by her father young, she'd vowed to shield kids from that void. She grabbed her notebook, jotting notes. Day 1, taught basics, build trust. Her pen flew, channeling frustration into a plan. By afternoon, Grace cornered Lily in the study, away from prying eyes. Tell me what's hardest. Lily bit her lip, whispering. The cramps. Hurts bad. Grace nodded, fetching a heating pad from her bag, pressing it gently to the girl's belly. Warmth helps, and chocolate eases the ache. Lily managed a weak smile, nibbling a bar Grace offered, her body relaxing inch by inch. But doubt gnawed at Grace. What if Victoria fired her for overstepping? The risk loomed, but Lily's easing tension fueled her. Small victories stacking like bricks. Victoria caught them mid-lesson, bursting in. What's this now? Grace straightened, voice firm. Comfort. She needs it. Victoria snatched the heating pad away. She needs discipline, not coddling. Lily flinched, retreating, and Grace's temper flared, but she held back, learning patience as her weapon. That night, tucking Lily in, Grace whispered stories of her own daughter's first times, laughter through tears, bonds forged in vulnerability. Lily listened, eyes widening, her grip on Grace's hand tightening. You'll teach me more, Grace nodded, commitment sealing. Every step. Yet obstacles piled. James called from the airport, barking orders via speakerphone, oblivious. Keep her on schedule. Grace bit her tongue, swallowing the urge to scream the truth. She adapted, slipping notes under Lily's pillow, tips on hygiene, affirmations. You're strong. Lily's confidence flickered alive, but Grace's inner battle raged, crossing lines in a white family's domain, risking everything for a child not hers. Still, she pressed on, each action a defiant push against the neglect's weight. As Lily drifted to sleep, Grace slipped out, resolve, steeling for the battles ahead, knowing one wrong move could shatter it all. You've crossed the line, Grace, poking into my family's private matters like you own us. Victoria's shout echoed through the penthouse hallway, her face inches from Grace's, breath hot with fury as she shoved a finger into Grace's collarbone. Grace recoiled, her back hitting the wall, teeth grinding together in silent defiance, the jab awakening old wounds of being dismissed as the help in homes like this. She'd just finished another lesson with Lily, the girl's tentative smile a hard-won spark. But now Victoria ambushed her outside the bedroom, eyes wild with accusation. Grace shoved down the hurt, voice cutting sharply. I'm protecting her. Someone has to. Victoria laughed bitterly, blocking the door. Protecting? From what? Her own mother? The words sliced, but Grace pressed on, her commitment to Lily a fire no interruption could douse. Flashback to hours earlier. Grace had sat with Lily on the floor, pads scattered like puzzle pieces, demonstrating again. Fold, place, dispose. Lily's hand steady this time, her whisper fierce. I told a friend at school today. She said it's normal. Grace's chest swelled, pride surging as Lily's fear cracked open, revealing budding confidence. But Victoria had overheard snippets, storming in mid-sentence. What's this nonsense? Grace rose, blocking her path to Lily. Education. She's opening up. Victoria grabbed Grace's wrist, twisting slightly. Opening up to you? Not me. Lily cowered behind, but Grace broke free, her pulse roaring. Because you're never here. The truth landed like a punch, Victoria's face paling, but she recovered, shoving Grace aside. Get out before I call security. Grace retreated to the kitchen, heart hammering, but the turning point crystallized there. She couldn't back down. Lily followed minutes later, slipping in quietly, eyes pleading. Don't leave me. Grace hugged her tight, whispering, I won't. Promise. That vow sealed it. No return to mere nanny duties. She'd become the bridge, forcing change. James arrived home that evening, jet-lagged and irritable, and Victoria pulled him aside immediately. She's overstepping, James, teaching Lily woman stuff without us. James rubbed his temples, glancing at Grace across the room. Handle it, Vic. I'm swamped. But Grace seized the moment, approaching boldly. Mr. Thompson, Lily started her period. She's confused, scared. James froze, fork midway to mouth. What? Victoria interrupted, voice rising. She's lying to stir trouble. Grace pulled out her notebook, thrusting it forward. Dates, symptoms. Lily's words scrawled in ink. Proof. Read. James scanned, eyes widening, the reality hitting him square. Why didn't she tell us? Grace met his gaze. She tried. You weren't listening. Victoria snatched the notebook, tearing a page slightly in rage. This is an invasion. But James held up a hand, stopping her. Wait, Grace might be right. The shift electrified the air. James's attention turned, viewing Grace not as subordinate, but as an ally. Victoria fumed, storming off. But the damage was done. The Thompsons now saw the cracks. Grace's actions a threat to their status quo. She couldn't retract now. The family dynamics teetered, her role elevated to catalyst. Risks mounting, potential firing, legal threats if they twisted it to interference. That night, Lily crept to Grace's quarters, knocking softly. Dad asked about it. First time he really talked. Grace's eyes stung, pulling her in. See? Change starts. But inside, fear gnawed. Victoria's glares promised retaliation, her power as employer a looming hammer. Grace adapted, planning deeper, stocking supplies, scheduling talks, even researching books on puberty for Lily. Each step locked her in further, no escape from the path she'd carved. James called Grace later, his voice gruff. Stay on this, but watch yourself. The warning hung, but Grace nodded to herself, resolve ironclad. She'd achieved a foothold. Lily's trust solidified, parents' denial cracking. But the point of no return burned bright. One more push and the facade would shatter, drawing all eyes to her as the disruptor. As Victoria's silhouette paced in the study light, Grace braced for the storm brewing, knowing retreat was impossible. You're an outsider stirring up trouble in my home. People like you always do. Victoria's accusation exploded in the living room, her voice laced with venom as she thrust her phone screen at Grace, showing a quick Google search on nanny overreach cases. Grace's stomach knotted, her fists clenching so hard that nails bit into palms, the slur, people like you, hanging heavy like a noose, echoing years of being sidelined in white households. Grace opened her mouth to defend. Mrs. Thompson, it's about Lily. Victoria cut her off, slamming the phone down. No! You've poisoned her against us. James joined in, stepping forward with arms crossed, his CEO glare piercing. We saw the stains ourselves now. Blood on her pajamas. What did you do to her? The question hit like a gut punch, Grace's breath hitching as she backed up, the couple advancing like predators. Flash to earlier. Grace had rushed to the penthouse after James's wary call, notebook in hand, ready to build on the fragile alliance. But Victoria waited in ambush, pajamas clutched like evidence, the red marks now circled in marker. Explain this, she demanded. Grace tried. It's her period. Natural? Victoria interrupted, tossing the garment at her feet. Natural? Looks like abuse to me. James nodded, dialing his lawyer on speaker. We're reporting this. Grace's knees buckled slightly, but she steadied, voice rising. Listen, Lily told me. James barked over her. Told you what? Lies you fed her? The lawyer's voice crackled through. Sounds like grounds for dismissal. Possible charges. Grace's heart pounded, sweat beading on her forehead as Victoria smirked, circling her. See? You're done here. Lily peeked from the stairs, eyes wide. But Victoria spotted her, yanking her down. Tell them, Lily. What did Grace do? Lily stammered, face paling. She helped. Victoria twisted her arm lightly. Helped how? Hurt you? Grace lunged forward. Stop twisting. James blocked her, shoving her shoulder. Back off! The shove sent Grace stumbling, her elbow cracking against the table, pain shooting up her arm. She gasped, rubbing it, fury boiling. You're blinding yourselves. But Victoria delayed 911, voice calm and cold. We have a suspicious injury on our child. Nanny involved. Sirens wailed in Grace's mind. Though none came yet, the threat alone tightened the noose. Her phone buzzed, a text from her daughter in Atlanta. Mom, you okay? She couldn't respond, her hands shaking as James confiscated her notebook. Evidence now. Pages ripped under his fingers, Grace's careful notes scattering like confetti of betrayal. That's my property, she snapped. Victoria laughed. In my house? Mine. The pressure crushed, job hanging by a thread, reputation smeared with whispers of abuse, all because she dared expose their neglect. Grace's chest heaved, breath short as Lily cried out, Mom, stop! Grace didn't… Victoria clamped a hand over her mouth. Quiet. Grace's eyes locked on the girl, silent promise flashing. Hold on. But the walls closed tighter. Police on the way, Victoria's allies mobilizing, friends in high places, ready to bury her. James loomed closer. Confess, or it's worse. Grace's lips pressed thin, defiance flickering amid the terror, but escape routes vanished, every exit barred by their power. As the doorbell rang, cops arriving, Grace braced, the trap snapping shut, wondering if she'd survive the crush. You filthy liar! Abusing our daughter under our roof, you monster! Victoria's scream ripped through the air as the police officers burst in, her fingers stabbing at Grace like a dagger, face contorted in righteous fury that masked her own failures. Grace's knees buckled, collapsing against the wall, her breath ragged as handcuffs clicked cold around her wrists, the metal biting into skin like betrayal's teeth. Officers gripped her arms, yanking her upright, their badges flashing authority she couldn't fight. Grace twisted, voice breaking. Wait, it's not… An officer shoved her forward. Save it for the station. James stood frozen, then turned away muttering. We trusted you. The words gutted her, trust evaporating like smoke. Lily's sobs echoing from the corner, where Victoria held her tight, whispering poison. See what she did? Hurt you, didn't she? Lily shook her head violently. No, Mom! Victoria clamped down harder, silencing her with a glare. The fall crashed down then, relentlessly. Flashed to the interrogation room hours later, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, Grace chained to the table, palms slick with sweat as detectives leaned in. Blood on the pajamas! Kids scared! What did you do? Grace's throat tightened, words tumbling. Her period. First time. I helped. The lead detective slammed a file down. Helped. Looks like assault. Parents say you overstepped. Maybe revenge for something. Grace's eyes widened, horror surging, Victoria's twist turning care into crime. Back at the penthouse earlier, chaos had erupted post-doorbell. Officers separated them instantly. Lily was dragged screaming to her room, James barking orders. Check her for bruises! Grace lunged toward the girl. Lily, tell them! Victoria intercepted, slapping Grace's hand away. Don't touch her! The slap stung, but worse was Lily's frozen stare, confusion twisting her features under pressure. An officer cuffed Grace right there, reading rights in a monotone drone. Anything you say… Humiliation burned as neighbors peeked from elevators, whispers spreading like wildfire. The nanny, black woman, figures. Grace's cheeks flamed, old scars reopening. Atlanta streets where cops saw skin first, story second. James handed over the torn notebook, pages fluttering. Here's her evidence. Delusional rants. Detectives bagged it. Grace's careful logs are now ammunition against her. This proves motive, one said, flipping through. Her loss mounted. Job gone in a heartbeat, Victoria firing her on the spot. You're terminated. Sued for defamation, too. At the station, isolation crushed deeper. Phone call aloud. One to her daughter. Mama? What's wrong? Grace choked. Trouble at work. Stay strong. Click. Line dead, hope flickering out. Fingerprints taken, mugshot flashed, face captured in harsh light, dignity stripped. Smile, the photographer sneered. Grace's lips quivered, tears held back by sheer will. But inside, collapse roared. Lost. 9 years of loyalty, Lily's trust now shattered by lies, her own freedom dangling. Victoria's final blow via lawyer, restraining order filed, barring Grace from the family. She's dangerous, the document read. Grace slumped in the cell, concrete cold against her back, replaying Lily's last look, betrayal mixed with plea. I thought you helped, the girl had whispered before separation. Now everything crumbled. Reputation in ruins, whispers of abusive nanny, spreading through elite circles, job prospects ashes, her savings, drained by bail she couldn't afford yet. Family in Atlanta worried sick, her daughter's voices echoing in dreams. Come home, Mom, detectives returned, badgering. Confess, make it easy. Grace shook her head, voice hoarse. Truth, neglect, not abuse. They laughed, the door slamming. Alone, despair clawed. Failure absolute, her stand for Lily backfiring into catastrophe. Hope vanished, cell walls mocking, every breath a weight. What now? Arrest record permanent, life derailed. As dawn crept through bars, Grace curled fetal, sobs racking silently, the fall complete, bottom hit with brutal force. You think your kind can just insert yourselves into our lives and walk away unscathed? Victoria's voice echoed in Grace's mind like a phantom taunt. Her lawyer's letter clutched in Grace's trembling hands as she sat on the sagging couch in her Brooklyn apartment, the paper crumpling under her grip. Released on bail, scraped together by her daughters, Grace's body ached from the cell's hardness, ribs bruised from the officer's rough handling. But the real pain gnawed deeper, shame twisting her gut like a knife. Grace hurled the letter across the room, pages fluttering to the floor. Damn you, she muttered, fists pounding her thighs until her skin reddened. Alone now, the silence screamed accusations, failure as protector, fool for trusting the Thompsons' facade. Her phone lay silent, no calls from Lily, just echoes of the girl's muffled cries during the arrest. Grace's chest heaved, sobs ripping free, shoulders shaking as she rocked forward, forehead to knees. Why me? Why always me? Memories assaulted. Atlanta childhood, father vanishing, mother working doubles, leaving Grace to fend alone, mirroring Lily's void she tried to fill. Stupid, she hissed, nails raking her arms, drawing faint bloodlines. The fall's wreckage piled, job vaporized, savings drained for bail, reputation smeared across news feeds. Nanny accused of child abuse in elite Manhattan home. Friends distance, whispers from neighbors. Knew she was trouble. Grace's daughters called earlier, voices cracking over the speaker. Mom, fight this. But doubt flooded. Fight how? Broke, branded, broken. She staggered to the mirror, face haggard, eyes swollen red, staring at the woman who'd poured 9 years into that family. What for? Lips quivered, reflection mocking. Abandonment clawed, Lily's trust shattered. The girl's silence during questioning was a betrayal that stung worse than cuffs. She didn't speak up, Grace whispered, fists slamming the glass, cracked spiderwebbing. Pain shot through knuckles, but she welcomed it, a distraction from the void. Pacing the cramped space, Grace collapsed onto the bed, clutching a photo of her grandkids. I should have stayed south. Regret surged, overstepping boundaries in a white world that saw her as an intruder, not a savior. Doubts hammered. Maybe Victoria's right. Grace is too pushy, meddling where unwanted. Give up, the voice inside urged. Go home, forget. Body curled tight, breaths shallow, despair's weight pressing like concrete. Hours blurred, hunger ignored, sleep evading as nightmares replayed. Lily's tear-streaked face, Victoria's triumphant sneer, James's averted eyes. Her eldest daughter arrived unannounced, banging the door. Mom, open up! Grace dragged herself up, unlocking with numb fingers. Daughter enveloped her, but Grace pulled back. Don't! I'm poisoned now! Daughter's eyes hardened. Bull! You're a fighter! But Grace slumped, head shaking. Not anymore. The embrace broke, daughter leaving with worried glances, door clicking shut like finality. Alone again, Grace sank deeper, questioning every choice, helping Lily, confronting parents, risking all for a child, not blood. Torment peaked, visions of Lily alone, bleeding in silence, but Grace was powerless now. Failed her. Failed myself. Body trembled, feverish sweat soaking sheets as she lay fetal, will fracturing. Surrender tempted. Quit fighting, accept defeat, vanish into obscurity. As exhaustion claimed her, fitful dreams stirred, a faint spark buried under ashes, hinting at resurgence yet unseen. You're just a bitter outsider trying to tear down what you can't have. Victoria's recorded voicemail blasted from Grace's phone, her tone dripping with disdain as Grace hit play in the dim Brooklyn kitchen, the words slamming into her like fresh fists, rekindling the fire she'd thought extinguished. Grace's fingers crushed the device, knuckles whitening, the slur igniting rage that cut through her despair, body jolting upright from the table where she'd slumped for hours. Grace deleted the message with a savage swipe, breath heaving. Not done with me? She snarled to the empty air, pacing furiously, feet pounding linoleum. The voicemail, left post-arrest, gloating about the restraining order, twisted the knife, but sparked clarity. Victoria's attacks exposed her fear, not strength. Grace halted, eyes narrowing, mind racing back to the stains. The real crime, not abuse, but abandonment. It's them, she whispered, fists unclenching as truth dawned. Parents neglect the true villain, her care the light they'd snuffed. Phone buzzed again, unknown number. Grace snatched it, answering sharply. Who? A small voice. Grace, it's Lily. Grace's heart seized, dropping to a chair, grip tightening. Baby, how? Lily interrupted, whispering frantically. Stole Mom's phone. They're lying. You didn't hurt me. Grace's throat constricted, tears burning. I know, sweetheart, Lily sobbed. They said you did bad things. But you helped. The blood. It's my period, like you said. Grace's chest expanded, empathy surging. Yes, and they ignored it. Victoria's voice echoed in the background static, distant yelling. Lily rushed. They're fighting now. Dad doubts Mom. Grace leaned forward, urgency building. Tell me everything. Lily spilled, parents' arguments post-arrest, James questioning the pajamas, Victoria defensive. He found your torn notes, asked why I hid it. Grace's mind whirred, pieces clicking. Her notebook, scattered but salvaged, seeds of doubt planted. Good, hold those truths. Call cut abruptly, Victoria's shout. Who are you talking to? Line dead. Grace stared at the screen, pulse thundering, the revelation crystallizing. Lily's call proof of the family's fractures, her innocence the weapon. They can't bury this, Grace muttered, standing tall, energy coursing like electricity. She rummaged drawers, pulling scraps, copied notes, photos of stains on her phone, timelines of absences. Evidence. Plan formed swiftly. Compile a letter, detailed, irrefutable. Send to James directly, bypass Victoria's gatekeeping. Grace scribbled furiously, pen flying. The red wasn't harm, it was nature, ignored. Attached digital copies, her story woven with Lily's words from memory. She feared you both. Fingers flew on the laptop, emailing her lawyer friend from church. Pro bono advice. Sue for wrongful termination, defamation. Response pinged. Strong case. Bias evident. Doubt lingered, but Lily's voice replayed, fueling will. Grace's daughters texted support. Fight, Mom. She nodded, resolve hardening. Past pains, her own neglected youth. Now fuel, not chains. For her, she vowed, sealing the envelope, address scrawled bold. Mirror reflection showed steel in her eyes, no longer broken. Revelation burned bright. Truth her sword, neglect the enemy, final stand imminent. As she slipped the letter into her bag, ready for delivery, Grace's step quickened, the abyss receding, a confrontation looming that would shatter illusions forever. You dare show your face here after what you've done, invading our family like some entitled intruder? Victoria's venom spewed as she flung open the penthouse door, her nails raking the air inches from Grace's throat, eyes bulging with fury that reeked of desperation. Grace stood unyielding on the threshold, envelope clutched like a weapon, her jaw set iron hard, the slur intruder fueling the blaze she'd carried from Brooklyn, body coiled for the clash. Grace thrust the letter forward. Read it, now! Victoria snatched it, tearing the seal with a rip. Get out before I call the cops again. James appeared behind her, face ashen, grabbing her arm. Wait, let her speak! Victoria whirled on him. Speak! She's poison! Grace stepped inside, boots thudding defiantly, voice slicing. Poison? Your neglect did this. The confrontation erupted, Grace slamming her phone down on the table. Photos of stains flashing. Look, blood from her period, not abuse. Victoria lunged, swiping at the device. Lies, Grace dodged, shoving back with words. Lily called me, told everything. James froze, hand dropping from Victoria's arm. She what? Grace pressed. Your fights, your doubts, it's crumbling. Victoria interrupted, voice shrieking. Shut up! You manipulated her! Grace's fist banged the table. Manipulated! I taught her survival while you chased deals. Lily emerged from the hall, eyes wide, rushing to Grace's side. She's right, Mom. Victoria grabbed Lily's shoulder, yanking hard. Don't listen to her. Lily wrenched free, tears streaming. You hurt me more, ignoring me. James intervened, voice booming. Enough! Grace! Proof! Grace spread the copied notes, timelines of absences, Lily's confessions inked bold. Weeks alone, bleeding, scared. I stepped in. Victoria tore a page. Fabricated. But James scanned, face crumpling. Vic, this matches what Lily said last night. Victoria's slap aimed at Grace missed, hands smacking air. Traitor! Grace caught her wrist mid-swing. Face it, your empire cost her childhood. Lily's voice cut through, small but fierce. Grace helped. Pads, talks, everything you skipped. Victoria released, staggering back, chest heaving. I provided. Grace advanced. Provided what? Silence? Fear? James turned on Victoria. She's right. We failed. Victoria's knees buckled, collapsing to the couch. Sobs wrenching. No. I built this for her. Grace knelt, voice softening but firm. Build with her now. Officers' echoes from the arrest replayed in Grace's mind, but she shoved them down, focus laser sharp. Drop charges, or the court exposes you. Victoria's head snapped up, eyes defeated. Fine. Call off the dogs. James nodded, dialing his lawyer instantly. Withdraw everything. Apologize. Grace's pulse steadied, victory surging as Victoria's walls cracked, tears mixing with nods. Sorry, I'm Grace. Lily hugged Grace tight, body trembling. You came back. Grace stroked her hair. Always. James extended a hand. Stay. Help us fix this. Grace shook it, grip vice-like. On my terms, no more shadows. Victoria rose, voice broken. Agreed. The standoff dissolved, apologies flowing, Grace's stand triumphant, family bowing to truth, her role reclaimed. Yet scars lingered, Grace's bruised wrists from cuffs, Lily's wary glances. They sat together, notes rebuilt, plans forming, family therapy, shared dinners. Grace's daughters texted triumph. One, Mom. She smiled faintly, resolve etched deep. As hands clasped in uneasy peace, Grace eyed the horizon through the window, ready for the new dawn's tests. You finally see it. Your ambition blinded you to her pain, and you blamed me for exposing it. Grace's words hung sharp in the penthouse air, her stance unbowed as Victoria recoiled on the couch, hands covering her face, body shuddering with the weight of admission. Grace's arms crossed tight, chest rising steady, the confrontation's echoes still vibrating. But now the room shifted. James nodding slowly, Lily clinging to Grace's side. The family's power dynamic cracked open wide. Victoria lifted her head, eyes rimmed red. We were wrong. Grace's nod was curt. Wrong costs. Fix it. James stepped in, voice gravelly. We're dropping everything. Charges, order. Come back. Grace's eyes narrowed. Not as before. Changes now. Victoria reached out, hand trembling. Please, teach us. Grace took it briefly, grip firm. Starts with listening. Weeks blurred into transformation. Breakfast shared, James canceling trips. Phone silenced as he quizzed Lily on school, her giggles filling voids once silent. Victoria attended therapy sessions, voice cracking in confessions. I chased success, lost sight. Grace guided, voice steady. Success includes her smiles. Lily blossomed, pads stocked in her bathroom, open talks flowing, cramps shared over tea, fears unpacked without shame. Thanks to you, Lily whispered one night, hugging Grace fiercely. Grace's life reshaped, job restored with a raise, respect earned hard. Victoria's apologies repeated, James's nods affirming. Her Brooklyn apartment is visited less, but her daughters are proud via calls. You won, Mom. Scars faded, arrest record expunged, whispers silenced by truth spread. Grace mentored wide church groups, hearing her story, empowering others. Neglect hides in luxury, fight it. The Thompsons evolved, family walks in Central Park, Lily's hand in both parents. Laughter genuine. Victoria scaled back work, boardrooms yielding to bedtime stories. James read puberty books aloud, awkward chuckles and bonding. We owe you, he admitted. Grace shrugged. Owe her. Presence. Lily's confidence soared, school reports glowing, and friends confided in her now. I know what to say, she beamed. Yet Grace reminded, love measures in moments, not money. Hugs replaced handshakes, shared meals mended fractures. Victoria baked with Lily, flour-dusted hugs erasing old distances. James tucked her in, whispers of pride. Grace stepped back slightly, anchor still, but space for bonds to strengthen. You're family now, Lily declared. Grace's heart warmed, past pains redeemed. The message etched deep. Wealth buys trinkets, but time forges unbreakable ties. Ignore children at peril, for hidden stains reveal deeper wounds. Grace carried it forward, her stand a beacon. Compassion overpowers bias, presence heals neglect. Families rebuilt, one truthful confrontation at a time. As Grace watched Lily skip ahead with parents in tow, a new equilibrium settled, promising enduring warmth amid the city's rush. In the end, this story reminds us that true wealth isn't measured in dollars or empires, but in the time, love, and presence we give our children. Neglect can leave deeper stains than any material success can erase. What do you think? Share your thoughts or your own stories about family bonds and life lessons in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, hit that subscribe button, like, and share. See you in the next video. God bless.